Okay guys, welcome to the Doors of Perception. I'm going to start the video by letting you know about this light that I just got here. My father bought it for me and sent it to me in the mail, and I really love it actually. I'll show first the different colors. This is the white and yellow together. This is the white. You know, obviously it doesn't look great on my skin tone. This makes me look kind of ghostly because I'm a pale white dude. Then I turn even all the way down, like it looks fine. And you know, I prefer the yellow. I feel like that looks better on my skin tone. It's more flattering. Got a bandage over my my dermal here. It's rejecting. But I like it on this setting here. But like too bright, it's a little much. Like when I'm further away with my instrument, it looks better when I'm, you know, in this direction. So I can, when I'm doing playthroughs or something like that, it's going to help a lot too in the future. I'll probably do a review video as well on this sort of device so people can kind of look at it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this guy down to the appropriate setting for this portion of the video where I'm up closer and it looks better in this lighting. This is an interview with Sean from Deeply Woven, the band that's playing right now. This is Weatheria. I'm gonna have a link in the description for the music, like all their social media, as well as their you know, their social media and their YouTube, and this music video is gonna be first. I implore you to check it out because these guys are fucking awesome and they're gonna blow up. I really think so. Thank you, George, the guitar player for this band. He introduced me and Sean for the interview itself. And Sean, you are an awesome first interview as well. I really appreciate you. I feel like it broke the ice for me as well as you know. It was nice to have somebody whose music and whose writing process and like we kind of do the same job for the same kind of a band, and that's it was definitely the right kind of thing for us both to feel comfortable and just talk amongst ourselves. And this is my first like screening process interview kind of thing. And you did a great job, man. And I feel like me and Sean became friends over the process of the telephone conversation. And you know, I implore everybody, please check these guys out, support these guys, because I look very forward to seeing them in the future and what they do. Once I get this over onto the other audio platforms that aren't just video, not only might the audio quality is going to get better because I'm going to have the right sort of interfaces and everything else that are going to make the quality, even for like a phone interview or a Skype interview or something like that, the audio quality is going to be directly running through something to where I can adjust the levels and you know, apply compression where it needs to be. And just make sure everything sounds more solid and more intentional and more organic. It was obviously just organic. I used a podcast microphone and put the phone on speaker right here and put it on a stand that came with my my ring right here on this tripod, and just it was perfect. But it was definitely a beginning and a start, and you know, homie, you made it super comfortable and super nice. So this is the interview right here. Please check it out. Like, comment, share. Like this band, follow this band. I promise you the shit. I'm looking forward to it. I will see y'all later. Bye. What's your age and how long you've been playing?
So I'm 26 and I've been playing music for let's see, I started playing music when I was 8 actually, with guitar, and then I've been playing bass for 12 years.
That's so.
Which is when I played it, so. And I played other instruments too. I played guitar first, and then I played piano for a little while, and then like school I played saxophone, and for a little while I had a baritone horn or euphonium. But mainly now it's just guitar and bass and some piano here and there.
So are you more comfortable as a like on the bass, or does that, or is that, or is playing the other instruments that make you like understand its role a little better? Did that change anything for you, or do you like feel like a bass player? Do you feel like just whatever you're playing, you do that in the right placement of?
Well, I kind of use the different instruments for different purposes. So, actually, I write more on guitar out of all those instruments, and then I'm trying to transition more into writing on piano now because it's like more visual, I think, and everything's like laid out in front of you. And, and then I like to go back in after like the song structure has been created with piano or guitar, and then add like riffs on the bass, basically. To sort of fill everything out.
All right. So like a typical band practice, like when you guys are like, or in the writing process or whatever, like how do you guys approach that together? Do you
So this EP that we just put out in September was all the songs were composed by George, the guitar player, and he wrote bass parts for all the songs, and as far as my parts, a lot of the parts he wrote were, a good amount of them were like parts that I was like, wow, I can't change that. That's like a perfect part for this part of the song. So I kept a lot of what he wrote, but I also wrote a good amount of my own bass parts for the album as well. I'd say it's like 70% my parts and like 30% his or something. And Steve as well, the drummer, he wrote, I think he wrote like a good amount of his parts as well. We're just basically like expanded on the ideas that George originally laid down for the composition. So that was for the EP. And now we also have a new guitar player who's also named Sean. He joined after the whole EP was written and basically recorded as well. So we don't know what we're going to do for the next release. We want to do definitely more of a collaborative effort for it. And I mean, we already have plans to meet up. Actually, we're meeting up this Saturday if the snow doesn't ruin everything to write all together. And we're gonna, I think we'll have each member contribute songs, and then everyone can, of course, like change the parts however they see fit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty much the process.
Well, I mean, like I know that the band that I'm in right now, typically, like we have a similar process. Like the guitar player, he writes the skeletons, all the songs. He just records the guitar and programs the drums and like an easy drum or two, and then just kind of sends them to us. And then Adam reprograms the drums to his liking to put he'll like himself on it, but like it still has the same structure. But he puts it sounds like Adam, like the way he programs it. And then I write the bass, but like I basically just have him come over and we sit together. He shows me how he plays the songs or what the notes are, and then I just write it right there. So it's kind of like we just make the vision of the primary songwriter come alive. It's like
I can definitely relate to that a bit. Because the songs are still very much sound like George songs.
Yeah.
And then the new stuff we're working on, there's material that Sean's brought to the table. There's some material I've been bringing to the table, and definitely each have our own style. But I'm really excited as well for George and Sean and Steve as well to like add their own flavors to songs.
Well, that's what's awesome when you've been in a band with guys for a while, and you can learn to contribute together and like make a whole picture.
Yeah. Sure.
That's good to hear, though, man. Do you guys have anything like planned to release in the future, or are you just kind of, do you have a timeline, or are you just kind of getting together and making stuff?
Right now, it's very laid back. We're just starting like to get together and write. George has a good amount of songs already written, and I have a few as well. And but we have to, we still have to get together all together and start like bringing it all together in like a cohesive way. So there's no real plan right now. We're sort of just focusing more, I guess, on shows right now and touring that we want to do this spring. We already have a weekend that we're doing this February, and then we want to do a spring tour, and then writing is just going to be going on throughout this whole period of time. But like, you know, not like a serious. It's not like a serious push or anything. Just
well, you guys are getting comfortable getting out there and doing that, and you know, just getting comfortable and testing that out, and kind of like just making that push. Like, just getting comfortable with that before you make a super serious push.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to come later. But right now we're just easing into the writing process.
Well, that's so, man.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you your influences on the bass. I know we kind of touched on some of that, but like your approach to writing, like artists that you like. You use theory, like etc. Like, what are your approaches to writing on the bass?
So as far as influences go, for bass, one of my main ones is definitely Les Claypool from Primus.
Yeah, me too.
I think everyone that like plays more intricate bass styles definitely has like a past of getting super heavy into Primus at some point. And yeah, so the percussive techniques I use definitely influenced by him, slapping and popping, and the tapping techniques as well. And also like more recently, I've been getting into Thundercat.
Thundercat too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way he plays. It's like super smooth, and it's not as much of like an attack to the notes or like string noise, which I really like too.
Yeah, even the way he tunes like his tone itself is just very, very smooth. Like, it's a different feel for bass.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of how he plays, and like he also uses flat wound strings, which is like a more dull, jazzy sound. But I've grown to appreciate that a lot recently. And then also I've been listening to Kamal Williams recently, and the bass player in that band's phenomenal as well. It's just the bass lines are just so like they're just like, I don't know, like classically good bass lines. But like they're not as like out there and strange as other bass lines I've heard, but they're just so much better for that reason, you know. They're just like, they hit you like perfectly.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I'll have to check them out because I'm not familiar, but I'll have to check it out. That sounds good.
Yeah, you definitely should check out Kamal Williams. He's like a jazz artist from the UK.
Okay.
And, sort of a collective of musicians. I think he like switches around his drummers a little bit, and just makes like instrumental acid jazz stuff.
That's so.
Yeah. And then for writing, I don't know, I guess I just sort of mess around until I like what I hear. Or sometimes I do use a little bit of theory. Like, if I know which scale George is playing in or something, I'll use that to like build a good bass line. But most of the time it's just like just messing around, and then like sometimes it comes intuitively, which is cool. But sometimes it's also calculated, I guess.
Yeah. We use theory as a guide, feel as a as like that's what you try and play on. It's just theory as the guide to kind of put you in that right feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I also I definitely like slow down the music a lot too, to hear all the stuff George is doing and all the little nuances and changes. I like to do that, so like I literally just put like his audio files into like Windows Media Player and then just slow down it to like 60% or something. So it's a slow process, but I think it comes out better that way.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, and if you approach it in the studio as well, then you can realize how you could listen back to how well you provided the space, or like where to put your notes, to where if you're overplaying or underplaying. Like
yeah, try not to be like too indulgent either.
Yeah. Well, that's the job of a bassist, Like, I can relate very much though. Like, I always want to do a lot, but I listen back and I go, actually, it sounds better when I do a whole lot less.
you just gotta find a good middle ground between like just playing root notes and going out to like going all out unnecessarily.
Yeah. Do you like you don't have to say like your occupation or anything like that, but like your job specialty outside of the band, and does that translate into inspiring you to play, or is that just?
Not really. It's such a different thing. I work as a research assistant for brain and spinal cord injury, which is really cool in itself. But I mean, there's nothing like I can really like take from that. I don't think to influence the music.
Well, I think that might translate to how you like approach like breaking things down and being very intuitive when you like write.
Yeah, I mean maybe it helps like me like analytically or something, because that's more like I feel like that's more like a left brain thing, working in fields and then like doing research, and then like that might help with like analyzing music. I don't know, somehow like subconsciously, but I mean I think about music all the time at work, so
yeah.
So, like.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty good gauge of like how someone's brain works. You know what I mean? Like what they like to do outside of something, and then how that applies.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed a lot of the stuff that I try and do outside of music it's like I try to stick to something that doesn't exhaust me and actually inspires me to create.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how that would definitely do that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's encouraged. Just do something that will make you really want to do something overall, like to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you approach like playing or band practice or whatever? Do you approach it like, is it comforting, or is it like, do you approach it like work, or like a mixture of both, or?
Practice is always fun for me. I always like doing that. Some things that we have to do feel like work. More like the networking side, which can be fun too if you get good conversations with people. But some of it does feel like work sometimes. It's just like I gotta do this today. I gotta email these people. But yeah, I'd say it's a good balance.
Yeah.
It's not like it's an arduous thing or something like I don't like it doesn't like make me not want to continue to do like the business side of the band. I'm still like happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's honestly, I'm 32, but like I've been through a little bit of that to where like people will take it a little too seriously, and it takes the fun out for them.
Yeah.
But like, it's finding that balance. It's like I got shit to do. I need to make sure that I focus on doing that well and taking it seriously. But it's also I've got to, like I have to take it seriously. But I also you gotta realize it's fun. Like it's a badass job. Do you want to do it as a job? Like that's cool. But like, if it's not fun, then you're going to overwhelm yourself and get sick of it, and it's going to feel like a burden, and that's
yeah, absolutely.
That reflects on the music too.
Yeah, your music will just sound stressed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be 100% stressed or something, or you're just gonna destroy yourself. It's gonna ruin your mind and your body and everything. You gotta let loose every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, well, yeah, there was one other thing that I think we kind of touched on it already. Actually, my monitors just quit going. I'm sorry about that. These KRKs, they're KRK rockets, and they're super nice. They like really pump, and they're awesome for mix and bass. But they have like some power saving feature that's in them, and they'll just stop making noise randomly, and it's dumb. You spend all that money on monitors, and they just do that shit.
Yeah, I've had these M audios for like 12 years. These BX5As.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're bad like I'm just so used to them now that like I can't even tell if they're bad or not. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I did have another thing. Like I was gonna tell you a story about like how I approached writing music that was different. We kind of touched on that already, like organically. But like before me and I was in a progressive rock band. It was kind of like a Porcupine Tree / Opeth kind of thing that / like Tool that I was inspired by at the time. I didn't even know progressive music yet.
Yeah.
But we got a whiteboard, and it was our guy that played sax came up with the idea, and we were just hanging out and jamming for about 6 hours that day, just having fun playing. And we got a whiteboard, and we stood up behind the drum set, and we wrote up binary code, and just tried to play on that beat to discipline ourselves to do those notes on that beat and create like interesting rhythms. And we wrote part of this instrumental like intro to this song off of that, and like
That's a really cool thing to do.
well, it was like I'd never heard of anything like that before. I just loved the idea, and I'd never I'd heard like I loved Rush, but I mean Animals wasn't even out then. That was my game changer. I heard that outside of a venue. Me and my drummer were loading in for that band, and we heard the sound guy was friends with Tosin. He actually has worked with Animals on the road, and he had their CD like I think it was about a month or two before it came out, and he was playing it. Me and Adam were looking at each other like, bro, like what the fuck are we doing not playing metal? And I think it was Soraya, and then we were like, dude, that's amazing, and we were just like we need to do that, and then yeah, it was a game changer for us, but somebody else influenced us after the fact. But like I don't know if it. You said that I guess George kind of brings the songs to the table typically, or somebody in the band brings a format for a song to the band, and then you guys create it after the fact. But I didn't know if there was like any interesting scenarios like that you guys have done to create like an idea for a song, or
What was the last part you said? I'm sorry.
Anything like that you guys as a band have done to create like an idea for a song that was just unique to like your own process, like that just
like outside the box or something. Like
yeah, like
so far no.
Okay. Well, I mean that's cool too, man. I mean, like I haven't done that with this next band either, so you know, like
do something interesting like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like we joke around sometimes, like let's just write a song that's like, you know, just goes up a chromatic scale the whole time.
Yeah.
Back down. Like, something like that, but like nothing serious. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, it was just like our process at the time. I just didn't know if that would be an interesting thing to kind of trigger something in your head.
Definitely, like anytime you can change your like mindset, I think that it'll improve your creativity. Like if you do something like out of nowhere, like that completely changes the way you usually work. I think that can like definitely spark some creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know because I didn't have any sort of theory background. That was like my theory at the time. It was just like that was my way to discipline myself, and it made sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you guys seem to approach things with a structure and idea ahead of time, and then you'll come together and make like a cool idea into a song, and like give it structure together. That's a good approach.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, you got a whole EP of stuff that I personally dig quite a bit. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the most efficient way to write is have someone bring like a whole skeleton, and then to the table of a song, and then everyone can just add their own ideas to it, as opposed to like attempting to write a song from scratch with 4 people together. I think that's harder. Unless you're like, I'm sure there's some groups that do it well, that are just like are so like they have the best chemistry where they can just write a song like 100%.
Yeah.
Just together, like without one individual taking the reins or something.
Well, it tended to work back in the day when I was in like rock bands and progressive rock bands. Like everything that I've ever liked to do seemed to be progressive, even when I didn't know what it was. But like, it's a lot easier when you can just like know like that there's a 4-chord structure to what the guitar player is doing, so you have that freedom because all you got to do is memorize that little bit. And then you just kind of have the freedom to go around with whatever's in that, but like it's still limited before you get to the progressive aspect of it. But like the thing about like progressive music, there's so much movement going on that like just the structure of the music is there's a lot of range to like do fun, interesting things for everybody, especially instrumental music. That's
yeah,
like
for sure. Especially when songs just keep moving a certain way and don't cycle back to like a chorus or something. Then yeah, there's infinite, like so many more possibilities for what you can play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got one last question for you, man. Is there are you guys, obviously if you can't announce it, you don't have to talk on that either. But like, have you approached anybody about doing any features or anything? Anybody that you're working with or are planning on working with in the future to collaborate, like on like a guest guitar solo or guest vocals or something like that?
Actually, no, we haven't talked about that yet, and that's something I want to talk to the guys about soon, for sure.
Well, I think that you'll develop those connections as soon as you're going on your Weekend Warrior tours or your spring tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And I found you guys because George posted I think Weatheria on Sean Homies, and then I found you guys through that, and I just messaged him to see if I could put him on the playlist. You develop connections just by like being out there and social media. I got Ash O'Hare to do a song with my old band.
Sorry, Ash, you said?
Yeah, Ash O'Hare from Tesseract.
Oh, wow.
All I did was email him on Facebook and said, "Hey, could I PayPal you half of the money now and half of the money when we get the song back and the stem files, and you can just send the stems of your vocals back and we'll mix them over here." And he did it. That was
awesome.
yeah.
That's what I like about the community. Everyone seems more available and like down to just do like random stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we definitely like. There's a lot of people that we know now, and we can ask. It's just a matter of like choosing who we want to ask to feature. Like it'd be really awesome to ask like one of the dudes from Archeco or something.
Yeah.
like Joey Izzo playing piano solo or something.
Yeah.
Like Adam Bentley did the EP for us. He mixed it, so we have connections with them now, and like there's a lot of other people as well. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to talk to them about soon.
Absolutely, I think it's a good idea because I mean, the cool thing about that is like fans of whatever that band that already like the style of that band, if they fit with whatever you're doing, whatever the picture of your band is, like that like influenced you or influences like the same kind of people that listen to your band, then you're gonna be able to they'll see that person's name and they'll be like, oh, I gotta listen to that, and they'll be like, actually, this band kicks ass.
Yeah, good crossover technique, like to get fans.
Yeah, well, it's just an easy way to reach new cats that wouldn't normally click on your video.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here.
Okay.
I really appreciate the interview. And then I'm gonna put you on regular phone. We'll talk a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you asking me, man. This was fun.
Yeah, me too, man. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. And I appreciate Sean and George and all the guys from Deep Blue Woven. Remember, there's a link to their YouTube and their social media and everything in the description below. Still need to learn to put those links on the screen so it makes it just easier to just click on that from the PC or the phone or whatever. But that's there right in the description below. So remember, check them out, follow them, support Doors of Perception as well. Like, follow, share, everything. I appreciate every one of you, and I hope we stay in touch. Inbox me, inbox the band, let them know they're doing great, and I love you. Have a good night, guys.